In this lesson, I'm going to show you how we can draw conclusions based on text evidence in a story. When you're coming to a conclusion, you take what you know about a situation, plus information and evidence from the text to come up with a logical and reasonable idea as to what or why something happened. So let's look at this picture. What can we conclude happened here? As you can see, the dog is looking down at what looks like a bunch of couch stuffing all over the floor. So a reasonable conclusion that we can come to is that while his owners were away, the dog decided to tear up the couch. And now how can we conclude this dog feels? Based on the way the dog seems to be behaving, he's looking down and he isn't making eye contact with his owner. So we can probably assume that he feels pretty bad about what he did. Now let's look at this short text and see what we can conclude. It hadn't rained in what seemed like forever. The plants were dying and the grass was turning brown. There wasn't a cloud in the sky for miles, and so the sun beat down on the dry, cracked land hour after hour. The only relief from the heat we felt was in the air conditioning of the indoors. We couldn't play in our pool, or the sprinklers, or the slip and slide since the city had issued a water ban. It was turning out to be one long, hot summer. Now, based on what's going on in this short passage, can probably conclude that there is a drought. Now, I didn't just come up with this idea out of nowhere. I used text evidence to identify what was going on. So first off, the text says that it hadn't rained at what seemed like forever. That kind of shows that there's probably a drought. Plants were dying and grass was turning brown. That also shows that there's no rain, so the grass isn't getting watered. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, and the sun beat down on the dry, cracked land. That shows that it's very dry and that it hasn't rained. It also says that they couldn't play in any of their usual water activities because the city had issued a water ban. Usually when a city issues a water ban, it's because it hasn't rained in a long time, and this is something that we've experienced ourselves in Texas. And then here it says it was turning out to be one long hot summer. And so droughts typically happen in the summer months in Texas, so we can assume, again, that this is just more evidence proving our drought. So what you need to remember for drawing conclusions is that you take what's going on in the text, pair it a little bit with what you know to come up with a reasonable conclusion as to what's going on.